Welcome into Black and Gold Insider. This is the show where we get to know the Black and Gold family a little bit better and everybody's favorite family member, without question. It's Uncle Giorgio. Giorgio Chiellini.
Good, good to
You're
see
too
you,
young to be
Max.
anyone's uncle. It's just a term of endearment.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love to be the uncle of a lot of former teammates and yeah, the uncle of LAFC family. It's
How
an
do you
honor
say
for me.
how do you say uncle in Italian?
Zio, Zio
Sì,
Giorgio.
Zio Giorgio.
Yeah.
Perfetto. Giorgio joining us here to talk a little bit about the Club World Cup and LAFC's performance in there. He is part of the Juventus delegate who are also here. And that in its own, you were saying off the air, and we talked to Larry Friedman about this, and seeing a graphic with 32 teams of the Club World Cup, and you see Juventus there, and you see like Man City and Real Madrid, and then you see LAFC. That's pretty cool.
Yes, and one the biggest, yeah, my favorite things of this picture is that the LAFC and Juventus are close each other, and yeah, for me, it's the my two families close each other in a big tournament. Uh, I would have loved to see Juventus and the LAFC playing, I guess. I know it's pretty hard or impossible, but never say never. It's a start. And playing this tournament, I watched the America game. I woke up at 5 a.m. in order to follow the game and be very close to everything in the family, LAFC family, coaches, players, managers, owners, that whoever was involved. And yeah, I was so happy about this win. I'm regretting to not be at the stadium, but unfortunately, I was busy with the UEFA and some meetings. But I told to John Torrington and the other that I could imagine uh, how would have been the environment of BMO Stadium in this game, and he told me that it was the best experience in yeah, almost 10 years, but it's a little bit less than 10 years of LAFC history.
This is what I tell you about Giorgio when he first joined the club. I go, Giorgio, what do you know about MLS? And then he tells me, well, I watched the Dynamo play Orlando City last week. I watched like 6 games a week. I'm like, what? And now you're getting up at 5 a.m. I mean, you wake up,
Yes.
a little
But
coffee, and then Club America LAFC.
this a question of family. You know, that's something very different from MLS or US soccer or whatever you want. It's about family and love. And I cannot forget how I was welcome. The feelings in all my experience in LA, how I was treated as a player, as a employee from everyone in the not just the facility, not just at headquarters, but everyone in the city, and it's something I cannot forget. And still doing a lot of things meanwhile because trust me, I'm so busy and trying to find time during the day, but. Especially during the weekend, that I could be a little bit more free. Sleeping a couple of hours less than usual is working when it's playing LFC.
And we appreciate you making some time for us. But Georgia, I don't think people are aware of this. You come back to LA a lot. You connected. The LAFC
Yeah.
is a big part of you, right? This is black and gold blood. I know you with Juventus, you got those colors running, but black and gold's in you.
And it's perfect because it's white, black, and gold. It's something that could stay together. It's not. It's like having two brother or two kids. You are not splitting your love. You have just more people to take care. And yeah, obviously Juventus has been my family for almost 20 years. But in my 2 years in LA, especially in this moment, with the strong emotion that I felt with my family and. Uh, the transition from player to manager. Really, everyone in the club helped me so much, and that's why I'm so grateful, but also still in contact with everyone.
That's wonderful.
I've been in LA, and all the people also fans still uh, treating me so well. I have some contact with 3252 or the other people that from our supporters and still continue to text me and be in touch in this month.
They're asking about you in Beverly Hills too. They're going, "Where's Giorgio? Where's Seo Giorgio?"
Especially all the espresso, yeah, all the cafe in Beverly Hills,
Put
and
them out of business when you left.
right. And the espresso bill for LAFC has decreased a lot in the last year.
It's in the budget. It's in the budget.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little Club World Cup. And I think a lot of people are curious how teams are approaching it. You're with a big name, Juventus. They have the Champions League there, but this is a big deal. How are they approaching it? You're part of their delegation. How are they approaching these next few weeks in the United States?
I think it's an important tournament. Obviously, it's the first edition that it's new. That could be a little bit different, but what I've seen so far is a good tournament. It's not easy to fill all the stadium because we are playing in so huge stadium in US, and the distance is always a problem for in order to when you play in the United States, but it's exciting, and I'm sure that going forward in the competition, it will become better and better and better. But I've seen the game yesterday in LA, PSG against Atletico Madrid was full at noon. It was a beautiful game. It's not easy because of the weather condition when you want to let the European people watch the game. It's meaning that you have to play very early in the afternoon in US. That is not easy, but it's a good, very good show. It's a beautiful tournament. I'm looking forward to watching the quarterfinal, semifinal, even the final. I think it's gonna be an unforgettable experience in New York.
What would you like the Juventus and these other European clubs or world clubs? What should they know about US that you enjoyed or that you have seen when you were in addition to playing hot in the afternoon? Because I remember when you played Nashville
Yes.
for the first game, because Nashville's very hot.
Yes, and I cannot forget the games in Texas. We lost 5 out of 6 games playing in the summer in Texas, and it's not a casualty. But I think that what is good for the European is discover a different type of supporters, different type of leading a game. I know that we have some fans from Europe or from the rest of the world. Well, most of the people watching the game are Americans, and they love to be at the stadium. They love to watch beautiful game. They love to be a soccer fan. That's very important. It's a little bit different. We have to also find a balance with all the travels. That is not easy. Different time zone, different weather condition. Juventus is gonna play in now first in Washington, second in Philly, but the third at 3 p.m. in Orlando. And I cannot imagine how would be the weather, but it's also a good warm up for the not the club but for the player to understand how it will be next year for the World Cup.
There it is, right? I mean, that this is
Yes.
just kind of like a dress rehearsal in many ways.
Yes.
And I know Juventus are going to get into it, especially if they get deep, and there will be pressure for them to do well. But for LAFC,
Yeah.
I mean, because you guys, Juventus gets to play Real Madrid and Manchester City on occasion. LAFC never does. So what does it mean for LAFC to, you think, trying to get a name for themselves to participate in the Club World Cup?
Max is something that I've just seen through the documentary and through some image, but you live in person. And imagine to be in 2016 in the parking lot in front of the BMO Stadium. Imagine to be at the press conference in which you have announced a new team in LA already, probably with the Galaxy that have won a lot of titles in the past, and you arrive, new club, new supporter that you didn't know anything about the LAFC until a couple of months before. And now, after less than 10 years, you are facing one of the biggest club in Europe, one of the strongest club in the world, and you're playing against the best team in the world. I think no one would have been could have never expect or dream something like this in less than 10 years. Uh, Dreams come true, yes. Sometimes happens also in sport, but good credit and merit has to be done to be given to the ownership, to the management, to everyone that in these 10 years is still working on has changed their job, but has been part of this fantastic family. And I think that the game in Atlanta and the game against Chelsea, especially, but also the rest of game, the qualification for this type of tournament is not for just the players that are playing now. Is not just for the coaches that are coaching now, and not for the manager that are working now and all the employee, but is for everyone that has been part of this club in the last 10 years.
It's our little bambinos gotten all big. You know,
Yes.
it's grown up, and now look, Giorgio. I was watching that Chelsea game, and as you're watching it, you're as a fan, and then you stop and you go, "They're playing Chelsea. This is amazing."
Yeah. And you really face Chelsea in a good way. You risk also to tie the game, and you were in the game against Chelsea, and not losing 10-0 like Auckland City, or losing 5-0 and never been in the game. You were in the game, and but you are against LAFC against Chelsea, and something that I think unforgettable. Uh, I think very good achievement, and I think that all the LAFC family deserve this type of day.
And you stay in touch with everyone. And I know you
Yeah.
reached out after the Chelsea game. What did you say? I know you speak with John and Steve and all those guys. So you stay in touch with them.
Yes, during the whole year, but I texted before the game the manager and the ownership, and after the game the coaches, just saying them, I'm proud of you, really proud, because you had a very good performance. You risk to tie, and you show that you really you are a team, and now we'll see what's happening during the tournament. But it was a very good approach. Uh, I was a little bit not jealous, but I was with them, dreaming to be myself. Finishing my career playing the Club World Cup with the LAFC would have been more than a dream. Uh, Obviously, it didn't happen. Now I'm too old to play this type of game, but I really was so excited and emotional watching the game.
It would have been crazy to just look at the sideline. You come in for one game only to roll. How has retirement been for you, Giorgio? You look great. Not as
Yeah.
big as you did in your playing days. I see you a little, a little skinnier here.
No, yeah. I lost some kilos because of muscles, and I'm not training anymore like before. I expected to be less busy, but things are running so fast. I just got promoted and be much more involved in everything in Juventus. Now I'm director of football strategy. That is meaning everything and nothing, but I'm gonna be involved in both corporate and sports side, trying to help and learn in different departments, and trying to uh, put in practice what I've learned in a few months. I see some idea that in my internship through different department that I had in the last 6 months of my LFC journey has helped a lot my transition, and I'm getting step by step, but honestly faster than expected. I'm taking some responsibility and growing into the club.
Hey, it's good to stay busy. Always stay
Yes,
busy.
I'm. Trust me, I'm not getting boring.
Giorgio, just being with Juventus, and I see LAFC, they play Chelsea, they play Flamengo, who knows? And even just being in this tournament and other clubs see them. Do you think there's an opportunity for relationships to come out of this? Like Juventus, you have a connection that let's maybe schedule a game with LAFC. There's a player exchange. Do you think
Uh,
that realistically can happen?
Not because of the Club World Cup, but because of me, obviously, for sure. That is something that we could explore in the future. But I have a little bit work also in this type of things in the past. Uh, but we'll see. Never say no. Opportunity can happen, and with my relation and my contact so often with all the management, is something that maybe we could find something that could work for both in the future.
I like it. What a
And
good
it's a
relationship.
good, yeah, and a good excuse to come back often to LA and BMO Stadium.
Right. And I could go to Torino and go skiing for a weekend. But
Yes, I'm waiting for you at the end of the MLS season, hosting you for a Juventus game and go skiing very close to Torino. We have a good
oh,
mountains.
count me in. Giorgio, LAFC, look, when you play week in, week out, you're playing the Colorado, I'm not taking a shot, but you're playing the Colorado Rapids and it goes, or you're playing the Houston Dynamo. And then all of a sudden you get to play these teams and they're from all over the world and you're soaking all this stuff in. How do you think that rubs off on the players? And you mentioned the coaches, but the coaches as well. How much better does it get them? Just this experience alone.
Could be very helpful in order to understand the high level and how much is the gap between LAFC and the top teams in the world, but also that if you work in appropriate way, like they show against Chelsea, you could fill this gap. And it's not something impossible to join, but also setting and understanding when the bar is helping to getting better. This type of games against Chelsea, against Flamengo, and maybe not, why not, going forward in the competition helps to give the belief to could play this type of game, but also to understand how much you should work in order to arrive this level. It's not easy physically. There is a big gap, but not just physically, technically, the velocity of the ball, how many times less you have when you control the ball to take a decision. A lot of different details. There is gap also between Serie A and Premier League, imagine between MLS and Premier League. It's normal, but it's fantastic to understand and discover on the field and not just watching the games. And after that, I hope it could help our team to understand how much they can improve in order to be the best of MLS in this aspect that you could understand just playing against these teams.
I think that's a great answer, Giorgio, because people are always comparing Premier League MLS, but the best way to experience it is to play them. And those
Yes.
few opportunities in a competitive game to see where the bar is and maybe how to set a new bar if you need to.
I still remember the MLS All-Star game against Arsenal a few years ago. There was a big gap because MLS All-Star wasn't a team. They were very disconnected, and Arsenal really not humiliated, but really won this game so easily. Didn't happen against Chelsea. That's important in order to give confidence to the team that struggled at the beginning of the year with all the competition, but now I think it's getting better, and it's important for LAC coming out of the Club World Cup of farther as possible, but concentrated on MLS, raising some position in order to arrive in the best condition as possible to the next playoff in the fall.
What a great opportunity. I think we're going to see that at the other end when the season comes back into view. Well, Giorgio, it's always great to chat with you. We look forward to seeing you in LA, and we're going to see you back next summer for the World Cup, unless Italy doesn't qualify.
It's hard, but I'm gonna be I'm
They're
gonna
going to
be
make it.
delayed.
They're going to make it. I was
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm gonna be late before the World Cup a lot of times, and hopefully a good excuse to come back watching Italy in the next World Cup.
Italy, USA quarterfinal. Maybe Juventus,
Perfect.
LAFC semifinal at the Club World Cup. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm signing with the blood.
Giorgio Chiellini joining us here on Black and Gold Insider. Thank you so much, as always, Giorgio. See you, Giorgio.
Ciao, Mark. Big up to the whole LFC family.
He loves you guys, and that's not just lip
Thank
service. He's constantly reminding everyone here what LAFC means to him. We'll be back again next week with another episode of Black and Gold Insider. Until then, this is Max Bretos saying, let's go Black and Gold.